I believe that we need more stories in the world. They spark compassion, they overcome fear, and they incite action. And a good story never quite leaves you. I'm here to share my story. You have to understand, I found out I was pregnant the same day I received my interpreting degree in the mail. I was introduced to a whole new side of people where they use black and white statistics to justify the same old shaming and stereotyping. And I will humbly admit that in my ignorance, I judged just as harshly as my peers. And nothing eased my guilt that from the very beginning, compared to her peers, we started her out at a foundational disadvantage. But Jordan and I took a leap of faith. We made a joint decision to do what needed to be done to follow our dreams. Jordan had a much more powerful reason to go back to school. He dove into his education with a newfound commitment. And although I never wanted to miss a single moment in my daughter's life, I believe that she has a right to see me doing something that I love. I hope that as she reflects on this, she understands that we haven't achieved all that we have despite her, but because of her. We enrolled Aria in Margaret's house. We chose it because the children there experience an unbelievably unique education. They can go with their teacher to the Wallace Library and look at the fish tank or read books. They can discover the tunnels. They can go to Global Village Fountain where they play in the summer. They can pumpkin carve with Zeta. This Halloween, my daughter was dressed as Yoda. She took her lightsaber, ran down the quarter mile, and had a duel with a Sith Lord. The children that graduate from Margaret's house come back to work there when they enter college. They have cared for decades of children and are so cross-generational that my daughter's favorite toy, the sandbox out in the playground, was built by my boss. The longer my daughter attends, the more I fall in love with the place. But as the semester continued, we exhausted all of our resources. We were notified that the child care subsidy program ran out of funding after she had entered Margaret's house. We were left to pay for childcare out of pocket. And through a series of unfortunate events, by the time the next semester charges were added to his bill, we were drowning in crippling debt. We were called into Student Financial Services, where we were told that despite Jordan's unbelievable academic achievement, despite researching and exhausting all of our state and federal resources and having no financial or emotional support, that Jordan would need to leave RIT. We walked out of that office with a clear message, that education was a class privilege. Immediately after we concluded our meeting, we picked up our daughter from daycare. We were facing an impossible choice. We had to choose between Jordan's education, my daughter's education, or my career. And all of these things were so interconnected that removing one would solidify our future. We had the unnerving choice of removing two. I have to be honest with you. When we walked into Roberta's office that afternoon, we had every intention of withdrawing Aria from Margaret's house that day. She begged us to wait a few more days before making our decision. The next day, our debt was reduced in half. It was just enough to allow us to defer the total amount and for Jordan to receive all of his credits. Roberta had asked to use the funds that they received from United Way to lighten our burden. That small act of kindness was the boost we needed emotionally, at the very least financially, to get us back on our feet. In March, we'll have paid off our debt to RIT. I am proud to say that Jordan still holds a cumulative GPA of 4.0. Our 18-month-old daughter shows all the signs of a budding engineer, including sleeping with her block towers like they were stuffed animals. And on my daughter's first birthday, I graciously accepted a full-time interpreting position at the Department of Access Services here at RIT. Woo! And by graciously, I mean I manically screamed in my new boss's ear. As staff, as alumni, one thing I believe embodies RIT's values is providing a quality, affordable education, and that holds true from 8 weeks old until graduation. I cannot express the immeasurable pride I have that through one person's actions and the collective good of many, that we at RIT have created a culture that would not allow a person to fall through the cracks. I am honored to be able to be part of a community where your story is the good you do, the inspiration you incite, and the opportunity you leave for others. Thank you.
So, we're all here to celebrate United Way.